Hi, this is Vicky
and Ruben
from
Family Life Explorers.
This is our second week in Australia, and in this video we're gonna take you with us to our trip towards Daintree and Cape Tribulation. Before our drive to Cape Tribulation, we decided to take a little detour. We went to Davies Creek to check out the beautiful falls. Everyone was talking about them, so we decided to go there first. And you can get there via a gravel road, so our car was perfect to get there. And when we were there, we saw that you can do two different hikes. One was going to the creek and one was going to the waterfall. So we first decided to go to the creek. It's a very short hike, actually, perfect for kids. And when we arrived at the creek, it was pretty cold, so we were like, are we going to jump in the water or not? But the sun was out and we made the decision to do it, and it was super refreshing. The water is very clean. I truly believe that you can drink it, actually. It was very nice to spend some time along the creek. There was nobody there, so we were actually pretty lucky. It's a good time of the year to go there. Yeah, we had a good time. And then after our little splash, we walked all the way up. We did the second hike, which was going to the waterfall. And along the way, the boys had the opportunity to climb some boulders. It was a little bit scary, so we were like yelling at them not to go too far because you can easily fall down, but all good. And when we came to the waterfall itself, it was absolutely stunning. It was probably one of the most beautiful waterfalls we've ever seen. It was gorgeous, right?
For sure.
When we were done at Davies Creek, we realized that the day really flew by because it was already evening, so we had to find a campsite very quickly. So we booked Speewah Campground. Yeah, this was actually a very interesting experience because it was the very first time we met a real cassowary, which was pretty scary, and we didn't even know anything about these animals. We saw all the signs, but apparently you are quite lucky if you see one in real life. If you don't know what a cassowary is, we're gonna tell you a lot about this gorgeous animal in this video a little bit later. After our breakfast and little workout we had at Speewah Campground, we drove further towards the ferry which will bring you to Cape Tribulation. So you can get a return ticket online. It's about $49, I believe, which is 30 euros. And it's a very short ride, beautiful ride. We even thought we saw a crocodile, not sure, but you can actually meet one in that area. There are many crocodiles. And then when we got off the ferry, and you really see the shift of landscape in Australia, because Daintree and Cape Tribulation is more the rainforest. It's the place where the reef meets the rainforest. It's absolutely beautiful, as you can see here in this video. We were very excited to go to our campground. Just a little tip, if you go there, just make sure to have enough fuel with you. We had enough fuel, but there is only one gas station, and on Sunday this one is closed.
When you arrive in the Daintree, you're in the middle of the rainforest. It's absolutely beautiful to drive there, so go very slowly and enjoy the view. We were heading to our campground, and on the way we saw the signs of the Daintree Visitor Center. We weren't planning on going there, but after a few signs we thought, well, why not? Let's start our visit to the Daintree in the right way and learn a little bit about the environment. So we went to the visitor center, and if you're in the neighborhood, definitely go there because it's very interesting. They made it a lovely tour. It's fun to see all the animals and the plants and the trees that you can find in the rainforest. Really enjoyed it. You actually get an audio tour, as you see, that you can listen to during your tour through the museum. We learned a lot about the different varieties of plants and trees, but also about the animals. A lot of animals that are deadly, not per se to humans, but very scary animals like the crocodiles, jellyfish, but also smaller insects, which are in Australia usually 5 times as big as in Europe. Very nice to see. We even learned about archer fish and also more about the cassowary. And we learned that our first encounter with the cassowary at the Speewah Campground could have been slightly different than we thought it would be, because you have to take distance from the animals, but we actually got closer and we learned that we got closer to a male cassowary with a young, and you should never do that because then they can become aggressive, and since they're pretty big and look like ancient dinosaurs, they can get dangerous as well. We didn't know it, but now we do. And furthermore, in the visitor center, you learn about the aboriginals that used to live there, how they survived, how they lived around this place, and what they ate, and a lot of interesting things, even about going further into history, learning about dinosaurs, and even about the Diplodocus. That's a huge land animal that used to live here a few thousand years ago and unfortunately got extinct as well. So we really enjoyed this Discovery Center, and it was a great way to start our visit to the Daintree and Cape Tribulation.
There are many beautiful places where you can camp or stay at Daintree, but we decided to book a campground along the beach. It was Noah Beach Campground. You can book it via the Queensland government website. We are actually going to add a link below this video so you can check it out yourself. The campground has not many spots, so it's pretty quiet, and all the spots are very close to the beach. I think it's like a 1-minute walk. Gladly, it's a 1-minute walk because in the sea, as you know, there are many crocodiles living there, so we have to be very careful with that. But it was absolutely beautiful to stay there in nature, under the trees, close to the beach. It was, yeah, a beautiful place. We spent a little bit of time with the 4 of us on the beach. We were playing around, we were chilling out there, and Ruben decided to walk back to the campground. And then we were waiting and waiting and waiting. It took such a long time. So what happened?
I was actually getting something from the car, and I don't even know what anymore, but at a certain point I was with my face in the car and heard some noise behind me. And when I turned around, there was another cassowary, but this time even bigger than the ones we saw before at Speewah Campground. And we learned in the visitor center that this was the female cassowary. It is now almost a head taller than the male cassowary. It was right behind me, just a meter or two. Apparently, she smelled corn on the floor, which we ate the day before, and the boys must have dropped it. What happens more often? So the cassowary was walking on our campground a meter or two behind me, and it was quite scary because we learned that they could be lethal. But the cassowary didn't even pay attention to me, got in the car, made a small video about it, and the cassowary just went on its way to the other campsites. And a lot of other visitors stopped and came along to make photos and films, and they got even closer to the cassowary to make really good shots. So apparently the animals are not really lethal, but only can get aggressive when you threaten them. But still, it was an interesting experience.
Yes, the cassowaries are super impressive to see. And then later the day we were sitting and chilling, and I thought I heard something behind me, and Ruben was like, oh no, it's just a leaf from the tree. And I was like, no, there's no leaf, it actually makes sounds, you know. And then we were looking closer and we saw this big monitor, which is a giant lizard. Absolutely gorgeous animal. It just was walking on the tree. So we were checking it out with our binoculars. It was very impressive.
We had a good time at Noah's Beach Campground, and since we were there, we thought we'll experience a little bit more about the rainforest. So we decided to go on a hike, a little walk actually, on one of the boardwalks. The Daintree and Cape Tribulation have a lot of boardwalks to guide you through the rainforest instead of you wandering around by yourself, which can get a little bit dangerous. So you can decide to do one of these boardwalks in the area, which are really beautiful. We decided to do the Madja Boardwalk, which was pretty close to our campground, and it led you through the rainforest, so you can see a lot about trees, the plants, the mangroves. If you're lucky, you can find some crabs and even crocodiles. We didn't see the crocodiles, but still, it was beautiful. Everywhere in Australia, they make information signs, so you can read about the environment, and it's something we really love to do. It's interesting, beautiful, and fun to do. And if you want to do one of the boardwalks as well, we list a few down in the description.
We also noticed that in this area you can get a lot of organic ice creams, and we found a little place called Flora Villa. It was a very cute place, and Betty works there. Betty makes this ice cream, biodynamic and organic ice cream herself, for over 20 years. And it is very special because there are no artificial flavors or additives or other things which are not good for you in this ice cream. There are many flavors to choose from, So we chose the favorite one, which was the Daintree taste, the Daintree forest taste, and there's also one with honey, and that was absolutely delicious. It will not taste like real ice cream, which is full with cream and sugars, but it's yeah, it has its own unique flavor, so definitely worth a visit if you are in this area, and check out her ice cream. We added a link to her website below.
When you're going to the Daintree of Cape Tribulation, of course, one of the most impressive things is the beach to visit. You can't swim, even though if you want to. It's very tempting, but there are giant saltwater crocodiles in the ocean. So you will see signs everywhere not to swim in the ocean. Definitely don't do it. It happens and it's not good. But still, walking on the beach is amazing. And the slogan of this area is actually where the ocean meets the rainforest, and that's truly impressive. If you watch the ocean, you turn 180 degrees, you see the beautiful lush rainforest. So it's a great place to be. And the beaches are of course very white. The sea is pretty blue, so it's beautiful to walk, and we had a really good time. Unfortunately, we only spent a few days in this beautiful area, and there are so many other things you can do. For example, you can do a night walk as well, where you see the nocturnal animals. You get a tour and you'll see them in the forest and the trees. You can also do a diving safari, so probably a diving tour to the barrier reef, and other guided tours even further up north to the tablelands or to Port Douglas, for example. There's a lot to do in this area, and it's stunning to be here. But we decided to go further on our trip because we had to go all the way to the west, so a lot of kilometers.
Before driving to the west, we decided to camp at Babinda Boulders, which is an hour south of Cairns. It is a beautiful place with boulders and a creek, and they even have a free campground there. So we stayed there, and because it was so much fun, we stayed there for 3 nights. We made even friends there. The boys had a blast. There was another Dutch family there with 2 boys, so they were playing all day. It was a lot of fun together. Also inspiring to meet other people and talk about the adventures we are having together. So a lot of fun. And so Babinda Boulders is great because of the waters where you can swim. You can enter the water in 2 places. You can jump from boulders. Good tip is not to go early in the morning when all the tour operators come, but a little bit later in the day. Then you will find the creek all for yourself and enjoy it as much as you want. If you want, you can do several hikes along the boulders. You can see a lot of signs there that where the hike is, you cannot really jump there in the water because it can be very dangerous, as the water can pull you under the boulders. You can actually get trapped inside the water, and many people have died there, so you can read all that on the signs. Obviously, we didn't swim there, we only swam in the designated areas, but it's a lot of fun to do the hikes, and the views at the end were absolutely amazing.
So yeah, Babinda Boulders was a great last stop before our trip all the way to the west. We enjoyed it very much, the refreshment and the area and the nice people. So now we're going to travel further with a lot of kilometers to go before we arrive at Darwin and the beautiful national parks that are over there, which we plan to visit. We'll keep you posted and see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.
See you soon.
See you soon.